Back to some professional StarCraft 2, the Team Exon Cup Finals number 16. We've got two of the best and most exciting players, names you should recognize, especially if you're following the illustrious Team Exon Cup every single week. In the bottom right, raising hell last week in a dramatic series against Team Exon's Nina. He's back! He's back, and to get here, he beats both Nina and Vanya, two staples of the Exon Cup, and now this time he's looking for blood, and mostly victory. That's most of it, but also blood, potentially. And in the top left, we're going to ignore the pylon on the map. In the top left, Juanito, the T-Wise inner spirit, Team Exon's very own Mexican Terran from Korea. It is special. Waking up in the AM to participate in this tournament and making it all the way to the finals so that way he can go back to sleep. These are quotes. He's finally back and he's here for blood as well. There's a lot of blood. It's a little weird. And we're on Romance's side. Hellraiser is just... Okay, so he's doing a Void Ray proxy, which is disgusting, and I hate it. Special, I think this is his first scout. I don't think he... Yeah, he did not scout with SCV. There's an adept to try to stop him, but will he be ready? He's going to see no second pylon, no expand, double gas, one adept, that's it. He has a good idea. Oh my god, there's no vision. Special Hat knows something's happening. He just doesn't know what. Oh no, it's a disaster. Or is it? I don't know, like, is it too late already to scout this? Like, the Void Ray's already here. It's already here. There's 2 Marines. How do you get a Void Ray with only 2 Marines here? Like, I hope Special shows us how to deal with this. He managed to start a Cyclone, just barely. There's no shield battery overcharge. I guess he's relying on this bunker. He decided to cancel the Cyclone and start a Widow Mine. The bunker does finish, so that's something. Like, every time I see this, it either dies before it gets started, like the pylon, one of the pylons at least gets scouted, or the Terran just dies, and it doesn't even look close. And the time to scout the pylons is long past. Let's put it that way. That's a lot of shield batteries. It does not seem... Oh, we lost a void. He ran out of energy! Okay, alright. That's a mistake out of Hellraiser. He killed a Void Ray. It can be done! They can die! Special is desperate. Like, I think there's enough DPS to kill the bunker now. Just barely not enough. The lock-on the Cyclone. Gonna help out. Bunker goes down! But in the end, will it even matter? You gotta manage the energy. Special's holding. He's about even on workers. The batteries are mostly out of energy. If he can actually... Oh, no, no, no! The Cyclone! Somehow didn't die. Oh my god. That Cyclone is everything and then some. You gotta be careful. Cyclones are such a meaty figure that, that's one way to put it. He draws out the Widow Mine. The Widow Mine can be pulled back. He may target it down. Magfield Accelerator does double damage on those lock-ons against the Void Rays. The batteries are consistently out of energy. He scans, looking for an opportunity. Could go for the pickup. Finds the pickup. A bit awkwardly close there. He doesn't save the Cyclone. Loses one. Special is holding. But at what cost? He really needs to build up Cyclones like Hellraiser's building up Void Rays here. Magfield Accelerator is 10 seconds out, but getting that original Tech Lab sniped. And remember, the factory was placed before he knew this was coming. You can't really wait as special. It doesn't really get better because the batteries regenerate energy. So, it becomes very difficult to really make any progress if you wait too long. The Stalker's just chilling. Like, he might be able to lock on to some shield batteries. I don't know. Like, Hellraiser's just expanding behind. He has obvious map control because he's up in his grill with half a dozen Void Rays, let alone whatever Stalkers are getting involved. A couple lock-ons here, looking for him. Buddy tries to bait the Cyclones in, is successful. Kills Stalkers, but loses a clone. One Stalker even, I think. The batteries are consistently out of energy, but the Cyclones are far more valuable than individual Stalkers. He really needs enough Cyclones to fully deter or target down any of these units, and he's just not finding it. Charges up the Void Rays, burns the bunker. Looking for the clones, but doesn't actually outright kill the bunker. I don't think it's going to matter. Gets one, but the amount of clones traded for this is just... It's a real struggle. There's some energy. The long range doesn't kill the Void Ray. I mean, he's warping in Phoenixes now. He's building Phoenixes to be able to interrupt the lock-ons and just outright kill the clones, but the Magfield Accelerator, yeah, it's looking like Special putting up more of a defense than I expected, but still. But still. The dirty cheese. Disgusting one-base Void Ray proxy. Well executed, but also, I'm a little surprised Special GG'd. I would have had an internal conversation about it. That was pretty painful. But let's take our mind off such things and talk about our amazing Exon Cup weekly tournament sponsors. Of course, we're talking about the online sports championships. We've got Dodger Coffee. We have... There's not that much on this page, but there's some on the challenge page. So let's bring that one up. Well, we're very well prepared. Challenge. Well, I've always said it like challenge. It's challenge, but spelled with an O. Challenge. Challenge. Find all your tournament needs on Challenge. Of course. Now, you might be like, what do you expect when you think about the Exon Cup? Are you thinking about Team Crimson Wings? You've never heard of Team Crimson Wings? Well, obviously, you're not a Rocket League fan. Because the Rocket League team Crimson Wings is sponsoring Team Exon. Which... Okay. And then, of course, Damon Uncamo, who is a sponsor of Team Exon. He's just a man from Arizona. But he's here to sponsor Team Exon, so shout out to Damon. Go follow him on Twitter for all your Team Exon sponsorship information needs. And also follow Team Exon on Twitter for your Team Exon information needs. Or just show up in my chat like your average person. Be like, hey, Winter, do you know about the inner workings of these tournaments? I don't follow people on Twitter. Instead, I like to take secondhand information from Twitch chat. You could also do that. And, of course, directly you can contribute to the Exon Cup Open, number 16 on Matcherino. These pro gamers deserve to get paid. Maybe not Special, no matter how much he whines about it, but at least Hellraiser. It's 6 a.m. He's busy. Like, I don't blame him. It's 6 a.m. I know I'm a vampire, but he's not. He has to play DreamHack. during the day, and then at night he makes some extra bonus checks at the Team Exon Cup. So, with your help, I'm pretty sure he qualified for DreamHack, right? He did. So he actually played DreamHack during the day. Oh, a couple days ago was his. Oh no, during the day, and now he stayed up all night to play in the Exon Cup. What a guy. Because we all know, while DreamHack, if it's on, okay, you'll watch it. But the Exon Cup, that's what you'll go out of your way for. So thank you for your support. I stand by what I've said many times. Terran players who saved the extra like 50, 60 minerals they could have mined when they scout, is it really worth not SCV scouting and then like 10 to 20% of the time, that's a conservative estimate, 10 to 20% of the time just being either super behind or dead to a cheese? Like, if you SCV scout early enough and you know they don't have an expansion, then that's a lot easier to set up your defenses and prepare for, say, the first Void Ray. But if you save those little bit of extra minerals, and a lot of pro players do this, Innovation, TY usually SCV scouts. I'm just saying. And Maru usually has an SCV across the map for other reasons. But Innovation is another player like this. Sometimes when you SCV scout, you get very valuable information. The SCV is going up, but I meant like before the barracks finish, so that way you can make a decision about the rest of your build instead of expanding on the low ground and dying to another Void Ray build. But Special's like, no. No, at least, well, he's not going for a Reaper this time, so at least he sends the SCV scout out. But yeah, it's another Stargate. If it ain't broke, why fix it? What? Where are you going? I guess he scouted the Expo. No Expo. I like how... Watch this be like a Tempest build or something. I like how Hellraiser is not building the Stargate. He knows the element of surprise is one of the strongest in the whole periodic table. Also elements of cheese and deception. Mixing a whole lot of metaphors, but as a verbal alchemist, I'm one of the most mediocre. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. But he finds it! The SCV finds it! It's an oracle. Special's like, more like a boracle. Very clever, Special. So, I don't know if the intent originally was Oracle, as he was still hiding a probe. I think he was going to go Void Race again. But the Oracle reaction, I think, perfectly fine. Just finding it and giving Special a much better picture. Oh, I love that. Slips into the bunker adds one extra range. But the Oracle comes in, gets nothing. So this is the difference between this game and the last. Last game, Special lost so much to that Stargate. This game, he's lost literally nothing. So things are going better, is the obvious situation. It takes 5 Marines to fight an Oracle without losing all the Marines straight up. So going around with plenty. Behind this, Hellraiser. He's still just building. It's always kind of a... It's a tough question. It's a tough question. Like, do you stop building Stargate units? Some players will get their Stargate scouted, they'll build the Oracle, and then cut off the Stargate, like, that weird uncle that doesn't get invited to Thanksgiving anymore. And then some people will still acknowledge that that Stargate, while it got scouted, is still valuable. So it really depends on what timing you want to pick, where you think the game is going. Like right now, I don't think Special is going to be very prepared for a triple Oracle Phoenix build, considering he's halfway across the map and here comes a bunch of Adepts. Like, Special is in the most awkward possible place. He's nowhere right now. He's going to base trade, but the base trade has begun. Is this a recall situation? He recalls to the natural. Hellraiser can just defend his natural. We're going to have to see how this goes. As there are multiple oracles, he can pick up one of the clones, but the oracles burn through the Marines. Now, awkwardly, the Phoenix is a little distracted at the moment. Special considered, I think... Oh, wait. This is, oh no, the Cyclone's still in it. It gets out. Is that gonna matter? Not really. So, Hellraiser's continued investment in that Stargate paying off. Just because your tool got scouted doesn't mean you can't use it. I think that worked out perfectly. It was a gamble, and whenever you go for a proxy, it's gonna be something of a gamble. But it wasn't a gamble, which is much different. He calculated that the Stargate would still have plenty of utility, and he caught Special out on the map. That went terribly. Like, he lost everything and got next to nothing. Now this is a little dicier. Hellraiser just decided, alright, it's my turn. He's now killed 12 SCVs. But... he did lose all of his units. Now, when will this cycle of death end? Hellraiser, I think a better move would have been maybe not lose all of his units. This is not... I don't know anymore. So, he did damage, but killing SCVs isn't nearly the same impact as killing probes, because mules exist. And Terran doesn't, like, Protoss production is more in bursts. A little closer to Zerg, where you have, like, rounds of Orpins, and your gateways come up, whereas Terran production is more steady. It's a linear increase over time. The rate might increase, but you can only warp in or build so many units at a time. So that's why trading your units for Terran workers is not nearly the same effect as Terran trading for Protoss workers. Like, Terran still is going to have that army, and you're not going to be able to catch up as a Protoss. I'm really surprised. I think Special's a little traumatized, to be honest. It feels like, okay, now counterattack. Now is a good time. Like, after he loses all of that, instead of letting him build enough charge lots, what is happening? Why are those... The Marines are very sad. The tanks, everyone died. You know what? I'm going to stop trying to analyze the game. I could just sit here and talk, right? Like, let me just break down all the decision-making that's not happening right now. Hellraiser just throwing charge lots in. Special with some Marines out there just chilling. There are medevacs out now. Combat shield's a long way off. +1 about to complete. These are called the Mule Peaks. You'll see them. Sometimes you'll have the Mule Canyons, which will be when the mules are either killed or run out or a Terran is forced to scan for a while. But then there'll be they'll go back above water here and have more income for however long the mules last. It's always... It's hard to judge what times that's most important to have it. I'd say the most important time to kind of keep your income stable is as you're taking your third, like Special was doing just recently. So he was able to stay about even on income as he took... I don't know what happened there, but it took a while for him to land it. But now that he has his third, he can focus more on using his energy to scan. And actually figure out where to take a fight instead of getting caught out on the map. Speaking of scanning, scans, catches... he sees the army, sees the gases at the third. He knows right now it's going to be a higher tech army. Are we going to see a Ghost Academy out of Special, or is he going to look for a timing? Because right now, the Protoss obviously has plenty of economy. You got your third established. You got these high-tech units. You got a lot of income. You got all the fancy worldly gigs and widgets and Wi-Fi apps that Protoss has. Or I could have just named the units, but no, that wouldn't have been any fun. So, Special. Looking for his timing. He's got the army supply. Hellraiser wants to play some aggressive defense. Get out on the field. Don't let those tanks siege up in a nasty location. But will it be enough? Widowmine's coming down. Combat Shields, a very important upgrade, is completed. Tanks are gone. It's just Marines. He fights back. The Archons he has to pick up goes over the rocks. Right now, Hellraiser caught between a rock and a hard place. Yeah, you know where the medevacs are going. It's not a surprise to anyone. Blink is done. Oh, not even close. Special unloads. Being careful not to go too far. He was so close to it. Armory is finished. +2 starts. +2 armor already halfway done. I don't know how many forges. Just the one forge right now for Hellraiser. Remember, the Stargate still exists, but the Warp Prism doesn't come out of the Stargate for reasons that are still kind of confusing. Using that revelation not too long ago was buffed/changed to lasting less time, but also costing less energy, which does benefit higher level players that are going to keep on top of it. Hellraiser, not demonstrating my point very well there, but there you go. Meanwhile, the Bio trying to come in from the right side. Army dragged back to the left. Scan spots it. Bio Army top left. Another one heading towards the natural. Waiting for the medevacs. Could target down both of these. Widow Mines will be triggered, but they also hit the medevacs, making them dangerously low. Special looking for it. Special taking a long time making something happen with these units. He's going to get cleaned up in the top left, but took 13 workers with it. Depowers the pylon. And with it, the warping of charge lots. A small army was at the natural, but 22 probes were obliterated during all this. The ring around the Nexi, but more stalkers coming in. Picks off a medevac, but that was the only one that didn't have a full payload there. Hellraiser able to shut down these units. It looks like there was a slight counterattack, maybe charge lots or something. Only 2 SCVs died. Going into the natural. Special cannot recall from here, but he can drag stalkers back unless the stalkers kind of just kill the medevacs, which they've done a pretty good job of thus far. So at the end of the day, Special slaughtered probes, but he didn't kill a Nexus or any key Protoss units. So while that's a good hit to the economy, right now Hellraiser already has all the units he needs to engage a Bio army. He's got Colossus. Okay, he has one Colossus, not Colossi. We have a whole discussion, or as they're known in plural, Coloxen. But that's only when there's 4 or more. Otherwise, it's Colossi. Just read a book. Or as they call it, the Colexicon. No, alright, that sounded slightly better in my head, but I barely think about it, so don't really judge me. 2-1 versus 1-2 upgrades, but Special. Special not adding on anymore. He's going for unit composition. It'd be nice to have the upgrades, but having Vikings and Ghosts is the direct counter to Colossi and Archons. Oh no, here we go again. Turn it up. Oh, that's too much. And also, who cares about that drop, right? He's dropping the base. Will he go for the Nexus or the pylons? At this point, we're starting to mine out of the main. Fighting the Stalkers heads up. He can beat the Stalkers, but another attack is coming into the third. The dual-pronged Terran pressure. A classic strike. Recall. Dunks on top. A weird amount of army supply. Targets down the Nexus. Might cost him the medevacs. More medevacs able to get out of the main and unload, but the third Nexus is down for the count, and Hellraiser is reeling. He just used his recall, which means moving out is a lot riskier now. He was able to kill some of the Bio army, but that's easily replaceable for Special. Hellraiser, we're at kind of an impasse. Right now, Special is building a strong army, but he's not going to have the upgrades, and he did lose enough Bio that his stopping power was shaved down a bit. Whereas Hellraiser lost a key base, some probes, but he still has an army and he has upgrades on the way, so he has no incentive to desperately counterattack, at least not until +2 and +3 are done. 4 more Archons. 4 more Archons going to be added in. How many ghosts for special? 3, with 4 at a time being built. A Scandinavia of Vikings being constructed. We're 11 now. I think he has 2 reactored starports. Indeed he does. No upgrades on the Vikings or any mech here. The Stargate was finally depowered, but Hellraiser is maxed out. He's got better upgrades. He's got a lot of Archons. EMP. He does have enhanced shockwave, so those EMPs have about approximately as much radius as the sun. But Archons have as much radius as your mother, so it's a real competition on who's going to come out on top of that. Very nice lady. More charge lots left side. And with those extra armor upgrades, it's going to be hard for anything but Bio with Medivacs to deal with them. They're just hard to take down. Meanwhile, though, how long on recall? Recall about 30 seconds out. Another kind of base trade scenario. No engagement in the center of the map. Instead, here we go. The Bio Army going to be heading towards the Nexus. Recall still. Remember, he has Ghosts for EMP. Down goes Special's 4th. A couple Zealots shut down at the 3rd. The 4th base of Hellraiser and the 3rd eviscerated. They're gone. No more economy there. Hellraiser's trying to win with this army. He's got Recall off cooldown. It's just Ghosts and Vikings. He can work on the key units here. Huge EMPs across the board. Stalkers blink forward. The Bio Army still going for the tech and the natural. Disruptors popping out. Robobay itself is vulnerable. Special taking the better end of this thus far, but still the death ball is mostly together. The Vikings may be able to take out the Colossi. The Colossi working on the Bio units. But if the Colossi are down, there's not going to be the splash damage unless there's Disruptors, but Special picks up and drops on top. DTs are being warped in. Hellraiser on the 3rd base. Workers slaughtered by the dozens, nearly by the hundreds. 62 probes, 31 SCVs, next to no mining. Hellraiser can see that Special has the bottom right base, but the army itself is thinning out back at home. The DT is an important part. Forces out a scan, of which he doesn't have that many left over. The army, no, he picks it up just in time. Special double on supply, but a lot of that is in workers, as Hellraiser has less than he started with right now. Special finishing off the last few units. Hellraiser has 1 mineral left. That's not enough. And now he has as many losses in this series. 1-1. That base trade worked out. A bit of an awkward game from start to finish. There was no real fight between the armies. Just, mostly guerrilla tactics. Looking for angles and timings when your opponent wasn't in position. And eventually, base trading a Terran. Historically, over the last few decades, has been a tough proposition. And once again, base trading a Terran does not end up going well for Hellraiser. Good game, though. I think Hellraiser kind of outplayed himself a little bit. It does feel like that. It feels like Hellraiser was doing a good job of managing Special, which sounds weird, but he's a tough man to manage. Believe me, you. He's better than he was, but in so many ways. But at some point, it felt like Hellraiser was giving Special too much credit. Where, like, he just assumed he would be ready with huge counterattacks, so he had to go for the base trade. But Hellraiser had the better army. I don't think he... Well, it's hard to realize whether or not the Terran is going for upgrades. But Special was really focused on trying to just desperately win the army. If Hellraiser had played more defensive and maybe started working towards later Stargate tech, like Fleet Beacon, gotten DTs really worked into it, but instead he kind of went for the awkward base trade. And Special just managed it better. He started the base trade first. He managed it better. 1 or 2 disruptors, of course, always. Like, I've seen the clips. I've seen M canning at any point. 1 or 2 disruptors can always change anything, for better or for worse. And depending on who you are, but Special figured out that the disruptors were a threat and accounted for them. Well, let's hope all the games are that exciting. Hellraiser, let's get back to the Void Race. Even here on... okay. Jagannath. Or Long Map, which is much easier for me to pronounce. And descriptive. So, by far, the longest map in the pool, somewhat slightly alleviated by the WLAs, or the speed zones. We've tried slow zones, but here in Starcraft, we don't like to go slower. We like to go faster. So the speed zones at key engagement points make things more dramatic, for sure. Once again, you have nobody sending workers out, but Hellraiser is going for double gas. So you have 1 minute to follow all those amazing Twitter accounts to learn how best to participate in Team Exon's activity. Ooh, 2 gas. Wait, and a Mecha Rex. Okay, actually, maybe next game. Between the games. This is going to get real interesting real fast. Special is doing one of the oldest tricks in at least the StarCraft 2 book, which is putting your barracks outside your base, but only just outside your base, just to fool the probe. Not so much to have it on the other side of the map to proxy. So minimal risk with medium reward. Hellraiser. I mean, I don't want to say it's proxy Stargate, but I feel like he's gonna force my hand. It's a proxy Stargate. I don't blame Special for this. Special didn't SCV scout, but 2 out of 2 games so far, Hellraiser has proxy Stargated. Oh, I thought he was looking for. Where are you going? He didn't SCV scout. I thought he was gonna go look for it. There's no expansion. Special is gonna find it, but by that point, God, the meta, like, the Void Ray finishes. The Void Ray now builds quicker than it did a year ago by at least a few seconds. It flies faster. It costs less. What can't it do? Be a good unit in the late game. Yeah, I know, but like, the probe died. Now there's a real problem. He sent another probe, but there's 2 Reapers, which is an awkward exchange. There's already a Cyclone on the way. Remember, Special went for double gas early, which means he was able to get his tech quicker. There's 2 Reapers on the way across, going through the WLAs. But the Void Ray, well, a Cyclone can kill a Void Ray and vice versa. It really 100% will come down to micro and timing. 2 Reapers can technically kill an Adept, though I wouldn't rely on it. Oh no, he loses 1. What happened? The Cyclone got distracted, but the Cyclone... Oh my god, the probe who lived! That probe is so important. He sent 1 probe out. He killed the other Reaper. He locked on. That probe. Oh, he didn't kill the probe. Oh no. Oh no. Kill the probe. Why are you just sitting there, probe? Fly. What are you... He ate the Widow Mine with the probe. He gave his life for the probe toss. It was on purpose. Oh my god, he keeps the prismatic alignment. That probe may have changed this whole game. He's going for the tech lab. The tech lab with Magfield Accelerator. Could use a repair. Needs a repair. That's going to be an important upgrade going forward. But Hellraiser in another weird split. We're not playing the same amount again. Everyone is original, even with these builds. I think Special is going to hold this. Hellraiser thinks Special is going to hold this. That's what? How do you afford this? I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go proxy Void Ray into DTs. That's the play. That's how I do. Uh-huh. That's legal. Wow. Those Phoenixes are tanking so much damage, but that means the batteries were out of energy. He killed both clones though. So this is actually so... This is the most Protoss. I mean, come on! This is like the cheese playbook. This is Gold League at its finest. Well, I go Void Ray, but also my other favorite unit is DT. Come on! At least he didn't Cannon Rush, but shield batteries are almost worse. And now there's... What is this? What are these units? I mean, I know what they're called, but more exclamatory. Magfield Accelerator is done, but so is the Dark Shrine! Could you just send your units all the way home, Hellraiser? It's like, no, we have a budget for how far we can move the screen at a time. Oh, it actually is Gold League, is it? Did he warp in? Where did he warp in the DTs? He's warping him in over here. He didn't even warp him in at the pylon, which means there's only 2 gates, so he has no DTs to protect his expansion. Special just walked across the map. Like, the warp gates... Oh, the scan doesn't see the Dark Shrine by literally that much! Oh no! The DT walked into the scan! But how many scans does he have? He's at his natural! Oh god, that could be huge. Oh, he killed 1! He got both! Special wins! Oh, such a confusing-ass game! What? So, the first 2 DTs get double scanned, because Hellraiser, despite not being scanned in the main, walked his DT through, which gave Special the information. Like, if Hellraiser hadn't walked his DT through that first scan, then Special wouldn't have known, at least he might have had suspicions, but he wouldn't have known there were DTs. And then the other 2 DTs would have probably done a lot of damage, but Special was then looking for DTs, because he's like, well, if you have DTs, you probably would have warped them in on the other side, because you have pylons. So, I kind of feel like Hellraiser outplayed himself again there. Like, the DTs would have worked if he didn't interrupt himself. But, here we are. Match point. Special, almost, he's 1 game away from going back to bed at 2 in the afternoon. We will see. Now the real question, of course, is does Hellraiser proxy Stargate again? We're on Lightshade. Brought to you by the maker of Nightshade. Believe it or not. Shout out to Maris. One of the best map makers in SC2. Also Finnish. But I say also Finnish because Cyril is aggressively Finnish. One of the... And that covers, like, 2 of the 27 Finns between the ages of 18 and 40. Yeah, all the lighting budget we saved with Nightshade, we applied to Lightshade to finally get that beautiful light-colored map. That is near... It's not actually that close in design to what Nightshade was, but similar size and similar general layout. Hellraiser 1, Special 2. Special 1 game away from taking home a second Exon Cup in a row for Team Exon. Nino winning against Hellraiser 3-2 last week. Hellraiser looking strong there too, but just not able to get past the finish line. We'll see. I would usually rank Special as a better player than Nina. Usually, not always. Depends on the day, really. Special just kind of a stable Terran player. In-game, at least. And that, like, a Protoss who relies on, I'm gonna say it, dirty tricks. Which is just how Protoss do. And your average Protoss, like, the Protoss who don't try them as often usually struggle. But there's a difference between, like, going Proxy Stargate in Game 1 and going Proxy Stargate in every game. Special SCV Scout. He's not gonna see it. I'm not sure if Hellraiser saw the SCV. Obviously, the SCV did not see the pylon nor the probe. I think it's actually a good... I think the issue with the last game was the probe got killed. Like, the probe that was supposed to originally build the shield batteries got killed before it did. The second probe was able to help out, but also died. You really need that just constant stream of shield batteries, which aren't very... Oh, come on. Somebody stop him. That's illegal. Like, come on, man. I don't know how this plays out. The probe's coming back. That should be obvious. Is he actually going to try to slap a shield battery down here? Here comes an Adept. But now there are 3 Marines. Special had plenty of time with a rare SC. Dodging Adept hits. I'm just going to build another pylon. Wants to keep that probe alive. Doesn't kill any Marines. Void Ray shows up. Can 5 Marines kill a Void Ray? Like, without any micro on either side? I don't know the answer to that. I want to say yes. Obviously, with micro, the Marines are going to have a good time. As usually they do. This feels like each time the Proxy Stargate has gotten worse. Game 1, it worked. Game 2, it was scouted, but still did well. Game 3, it didn't really work. Game 4, it has not worked at all. This is not working. So... And then it kind of just ends. Well, congratulations to your Team Exon Cup Team Exon champion. Hellraiser, I mean, I can't really blame him. He played DreamHack yesterday. By the way, he had a Fleet Beacon finishing. He played DreamHack yesterday. He actually made it through this whole bracket, but he's going up against Special after a day full of Starcraft. I gotta give him a little bit of, like, that caveat, but still. The same cheese every game? The same one? Like, give you a Robo or something in there. Mix it up. You know, like, a Max Pegs. I do, like, with the caveat, I still have to say, like, little more originality there. You gotta pull out your deck of cheese. Your charcuterie board that every Protoss has, even the ones who pretend to play macro. Don't lie. But Special, quickly, relatively efficiently, and confidently earned that money, with which I'm sure he will buy many great things. Does anybody have the clip of Special singing Barbie Girl to just wrap up this video? You might be like, Winter, what? Are you serious? And I'm literally never sarcastic, so that does. I will spend an extra, like, now that I said it, so just be patient. Here we go. In order to punctuate, this is what your hard-earned support for Team Exon goes to. Professional gaming, professional practice, everything you know, you love, and you expect out of Team Exon and Special. This, like and subscribe. Check out all my videos. Here you go. Congratulations, Special, on your victory.